What's up, guys? Welcome back. This time with season 2, episode 4. And last week we had a Crosshair Cody episode, which was pretty good. I think we're back on the main crew because Crosshair was kind of sus last week.
I don't think it's going to be another episode like last week's. Last week's, I think, was one of the best of the series. But based on what we've seen of the show so far, I don't expect them to drop another one like that. It seems like those are every couple episodes we get one like that. I'm expecting like a Sid kind of mission episode. Not that I'm saying I think it's going to be bad, because I think it could probably be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have the main crew back among us and with us. So yeah, I mean, you want to just hop into it, bro?
Yes, that's a good idea. I think this is the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sid.
Sid time. This is playing politics. Nah, she's gonna turn it on you. Yep. She's too smart for you.
2 cards of Mantle Max.
Oh, are we just gonna get... Is it just gonna be
Side
Wrecker,
quest?
Tech, and Omega by themselves?
Pod racing, question mark?
Faster, dude. They're pod racing.
Oh, that's why.
No way.
Riot racing.
That's kind of
Oh, it's pod racing with guns.
sick. With guns?
You have a problem with droids, you? Think you can make the split-second calculation
Oh, is this...
going out there?
Okay.
I would love to see Tech race, dude. He's
Going up
probably good
against
at
this
it.
guy.
Save it for next
Who's the that voice actor? Is definitely
I don't know, but I
famous.
feel like I recognize him for sure.
Mhm.
I think I like the rivalry these two are already kind of having. That's kind of cool. At least he's doing something. Whoa!
That guy's got some chin on him.
What is he, a brute from Halo? Jesus.
Are they just practicing?
I guess doing lap times.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah,
we go.
there's then maybe this is a race.
There's
Bro, just died. That dude just straight up got shot.
Oh,
Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh.
I thought we said no teams, bro. Dang, bro.
Bruh. You can just destroy the opponent. That's kind of
crazy.
funny.
They teamed up too, bro. What's
Yeah,
wrong?
right. He's got Gamorrean too. Look at that.
Oh, then you got, kid.
You don't know that. You don't know how much she's got.
If you win, we pay you double.
Double, dang, girl. I feel like Sid is a gambler, and she kind of is.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, yeah.
But it's like her own fault, bro. His voice sounds recognizable.
He also sounds
too.
familiar too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at the credits if I remember.
So Sid's gambling, right? And she can't pay. Like, what is the big scary guy doing wrong?
Oh, because didn't he like cheat? He used another racer.
Yeah, they teamed, bro.
Yeah, which is kind of lame if you ask me.
This is not the first time she has required our assistance.
Yeah, right?
for her
Thank
dealings
you,
with
bro.
individuals of
Literally.
questionable integrity.
This guy spit.
Problematic pattern. It is, bro.
A little less chatter, a little more spanner.
Bro,
This guy got major tude.
he's got a humongous dude. It seems like she's just been using them this whole time, like to do her dirty
Yeah.
work, and they get some money. But
I will ignore that obvious question.
I want
Yes,
to dislike him so much,
that was a
but
miscalculation.
something
One I
about
will not make twice.
the delivery is kind of working for me.
He's just a goofy goober.
I want to hate him so much. he's so obnoxious.
This is the best.
What?
What just happened?
That's that same guy.
Oh my god.
They can just put them back together.
Regret nothing.
Ooh.
Wow.
Hopefully that means tech races.
I think that's what they're leading at.
Yes,
he's
sir.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So they have races like every day, bro.
I guess that's wild.
Crazy.
It's just, but it's.
They
They went silent.
Anything else on those guys?
Nobody said a word.
Just tech.
Just tech.
Oh,
Wow. Oh, I don't know where we'd be without Wrecker's insight. You have to be in first place to win.
dang. Bro.
Oh. I wonder where he gets that name. He's gonna take the left tunnel.
Oh, what a top G, man.
Yeah, he's big brain, we know.
Oh, maybe not.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. He's just gonna do it on pure speed.
Ooh, he's gonna follow him in there. Yup. And then he's gonna
Oh,
get.
man. Yeah, and then he's not going... Yeah, he won't be going fast enough.
Oh?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, he's done. Bye.
Laser
Wow,
brain.
where does that even go? Does it just drop, like, forever?
Top gun it, dude. Just hit the brake. Oh. We're just worried about the way. Oh. I wonder who'll win.
Heck, by like a mile.
I think he's the last one standing.
Tag! Tag! He just leaves the team to stay here and race forever.
Alright. I
Oh, he
found
did
him my
the thing.
calling.
I owe you one.
Tech shot first.
I would agree.
I would agree.
I'll make it up to you.
What was she hoping that he would say, no, I did it out of the kindness of my heart? Like, what?
That loyalty is admirable. But with Sid, it doesn't always go both ways.
Facts.
Yeah.
Get away from Sid, bro.
Honestly, anything to get them away from Sid. Nice.
Is that the episode?
I think so. Boom.
Uh,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Ben Schwartz. That's pretty funny. Jean-Ralphio
pretty funny.
Saperstein is in the Star Wars universe.
yeah,
That's super
John
weird.
Ralph, yeah.
Money, please. All right, so Faster. That was cool. You know, it was another like a Sid episode. The highlight for me was, I guess, the little bits they were planning in there about the Sid's loyalty to the group, which I've always kind of questioned in the first place. And aside from that, I think it would be best for the show if they were to like go their separate ways at some point, because I think we've seen enough of this, because I feel like this has to be leading to somewhere with Sid, because other than that, we haven't really gotten much out of it besides her sending them to do stuff for her. So I feel like we had a little bit of a hint of it too at the beginning with Tech. I forget what he said, but he said something about them like doing chores for her, and he was like frustrated when they had to go do this mission.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when she was like, I guess I owe you, and he was like, yeah, you do. And it was, so I can already sense, like, especially from Tech, that, you know, they're starting to feel like cheated almost by her. So I hope that actually leads to something, instead of them just like, I don't know, ending it. I don't know. I feel like that they've spent enough time with her to where that arc should be resolved and they should move on to something else. Because I wouldn't say I'm tired of it, but I'm getting like the more we get like the random one-off, like I want there to be an overarching plot. Like, can we please just have like a season that has a story that it tells the entire time instead of like random whatever stuff? That's all I've been asking for pretty much. But you know, this was cool. I liked the racing stuff. What kind of racing was it called? Do you remember?
Riot racing.
Riot racing. So there's riot racing. There's pod racing. There's swoop bike racing. So a lot of cool stuff there. I like the racing scenes in general. Pretty cool. Reminded me of the Boot to Eve classic. The visuals were cool. I liked the designs of the characters. There was like a Gamorrean. There was a Trandoshan. The design of the planet there, I don't know if they named it or not, but the planet looked pretty cool with like the orangey kind of sands and the
It's like Safa Mua or something.
yeah, and like when they were at the beginning when they first landed in that sort of like, it seemed like a cool like a street or alley or something. I'm a little bit confused with Tech's arc here. Like, he definitely did have like a little thing with like him and Teo, the rivalry, but like I feel like the whole point of it was to prove that Tech is smart, which we already we already know that. Like, he's the smart one. That's his whole thing. And the whole arc is like Teo saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, and then he proves at the end that he does know what he's doing, which is cool. And you know, I liked it, but like we already knew that he was like, if you're gonna do like a character driven thing for Tech, wouldn't you want to go in the opposite direction? Like, maybe you would have a story where somebody claims that Tech isn't like a human, because the whole thing with Teo was like, oh, you're a human. Wouldn't it be more intriguing if there was somebody who told him that he's basically not a human because of how robotic and scientific he acts. And then throughout the episode, he learns to maybe be more of a human and less of like less analytical like that. I feel like that would be more of a step for his character instead of them just showing to us something that we already know in that Tech is smart. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was kind of weird.
It was kind of like, oh, here's a problem where you have to be analytical about the solution. I guess we'll have Tech solve it. It was kind of like putting the square shape or the square peg in the square hole. Like, it's like, okay, it works, and it was cool, and it was flashy, and I like seeing things go fast, but it felt more like a generic Clone Wars episode to me than a Bad Batch. And I think Bad Batch should be different from Clone Wars, both like the characters, but also thematically. I wanted to follow them and have post Order 66 through the eyes of the cool clones that the Bad Batch are.
Yeah.
But this is just like, if this exact thing happened somehow in the Clone Wars, like, it would have made sense. Like, Tech could have done this at any point of his life. He didn't really achieve anything. He, like, of course he won the race, and that's difficult to do, but it's just like, okay, like, cool.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, but they also tried to use it as like a little mini character arc for him, and it was cool. Like, I don't think it was bad. Like, you know, they had like the rivalry with him and Teo was cool. As much as they made me want to hate Teo, I couldn't help but be somewhat amused by him. Just like the delivery of the lines was funny in some cases, and it was just, I don't know, the way the two of them clashed, I thought it was interesting. But like, the whole point of that relationship is to prove that Tech is smart. I'm obviously like generalizing it big time, but like ultimately, like, Teo was like, oh, you're just a human, so you won't be able to figure this out. Nobody came into this believing that Tech wouldn't be able to figure this out. He's done that all the time, where it's like he pulls up his iPad and he's like, oh, you just have to do this and it'll work, and everyone's like, okay, and they do it and it works. Nobody's coming into this thinking, oh, Tech wouldn't know what to do in this situation. So I'm a little confused as to why that's the angle that they went at it from. Like, they're trying to show something to us about his character that we already know without really adding much. That's why I was saying, like, they could have done something in the opposite way, where like he tried to prove that he was a human and that he did have like feelings or something. I know biologically he's like different, but like maybe he would eventually want to not be just the analytical guy all the time, you know? Like, I feel like an arc like that would have made a lot of sense for his character. It would have been really cool if we got to see him like have some moments of like, am I really just like this analytical, sarcastic, like, do I have like emotions? Do I have feelings? Like, how do I? So if they were able to do it somehow that way, to where that was the payoff, like last episode, how Cody kind of calmed down that the girl, I forget what all that, but like maybe instead of Tech solving a problem like the Tech way with like analytics and research, he communicates with someone verbally and he like calms them down through like words. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying like specifically the exact scenario that happened in this episode, but in general, like I feel like if they're gonna do something like that for Tech, why would you have the whole arc revolve around the point, like the point that everybody knows him as? You get somebody that doesn't even know Star Wars to look at Tech and say like, what role does this person play in a team? Oh, that's like the technological.
Also, his name is Tech.
Yeah, literally. So like, this is not like some new information that Tech is smart. Like, nobody came into this thinking he wouldn't be able to figure out a solution to this problem. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird. Like, it was good, it was fine, but like, why? This is something we already know about Tech.
Yeah, I think that this one, just as much as last one, is kind of one of those kind of vacuum like episodes where it's just like, all right, this is what happens and that's it. It doesn't really connect too much to the rest of anything else. But I think last one was much better.
I think these are two examples of like what you're saying. These are two examples of one that's done really well and one that is like just okay.
Yeah, exactly. Which kind of stinks that they're back to back. because it leaves you wanting more from this one because we literally just saw a great example of more. And it's I don't know, because I don't want to hate on it because it was bad, but
Yeah, like I didn't dislike that, you know.
it's like going from an A plus to a B, and you're like, oh, but we could at least get an A if we just do a little bit of work, like
A little bit tinkering.
yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think what lifted this one up was the bit with, because there's more with Tech, surprisingly, and I did like seeing more of the fact that we're splitting up the team a little bit. I thought that was interesting. You know, Hunter and Echo just weren't even in this one, but like most of there was the other thing with Tech was his, you know, feelings towards Sid. I hope they explore that more. I hope we see more of that where he starts to feel like disdain or like annoyance with how she's treating them, and I hope that kind of spreads throughout the team, and then I hope that leads to something to where we reach an endpoint with this arc in a satisfying way. The whole Sid saga, I guess. I hope that comes to a head, because that's what they're teasing. I hope that at some point yeah, I think they might want to do a little more than that, because that'd be pretty quick of a turn from just like to we're leaving, you know. So but we'll, I don't know, I have no idea. But like that was a Tech thing. I really like that. And I think the other thing that carried this episode for me was the like the racing and the action that was in the race, because that was really
cool.
Yeah. I really did like that.
I think it was a good, it felt to me like a good Clone Wars episode. Like I don't want to hate on it so much, because it was fun. It was cool racing. There was a lot of action, a lot of explosions. I love explosions.
Yeah.
And you know, Tech being the Tech guy, like that's not so bad. Like he does that. But it just stinks that like, well, we're not in Clone Wars anymore. We're in your own show where you're supposed to be the dude.
Yeah.
Growing up, changing, developing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
this might be my bias, but like the reason it usually works in the Clone Wars is because that's what it is. It's about the Clone War. Yeah. The entire war. And it's and like obviously it's primarily Anakin, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Rex, like that's the core, obviously, but it expands the war. It makes the war itself feel so much bigger. Like when we go to like Onderon, or when we see the little roly guys on the whatever planet, and we see this planet with these, like that's for the whole war and how it affects everybody. This is just the Bad Batch. It's like they're literally the spin-off of the Clone Wars. They're one of those micro episodes. You know, we're 4 episodes in, and we don't really have like we basically just have like the seeds of an overarching story for this season, because like the first 2 was its own thing, but like it was, you know, kind of, maybe we'll see where that goes. The third one had Cody and Crosshair, who we'll probably see in the future, and then this one was just completely unrelated, besides like if you want to count the Sid stuff. I don't know if they're going anywhere with that, but I imagine they would. So I kind of wish that they would just like have a whole, like a story. If you like, don't make it 16 episodes if you don't need 16 episodes. Right? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, these are terrible, I hate, but like if you don't need that many episodes to tell like a cool story, don't make that many. Like last season, if they had made it 1 episode shorter so that we didn't have to watch Infested right in smack dab in the middle of like the rising action to the finale, and then Infested, and then it goes back, like, you know, like if it doesn't need to be there, like don't make it that long. You don't have TV restrictions anymore. You don't have to produce a 23 episode season anymore. That's not how TV works anymore.
The other thing is too, it's not like we're sitting here saying like, oh no, you have to do Bad Batch only stories. We need to, like, no, you chose to make a show about them.
Yeah.
Like you chose to go down that route. So like, why are you now kind of back? Why are you now like, oh, let's make Clone Wars episodes. Let's do that. Everyone likes those. Like, no, you took that step. I think it's a good step in the right direction to kind of go thematically different, to differentiate your, like, how is this different than any Clone Wars episode? You couldn't really tell. Like it should be. There should be an overarching narrative, and it should be its own thing. It can lean off a lot of the Clone Wars. Like the Clone Wars was awesome. You should take elements from that, but it shouldn't just be a reskin. Yeah. If they wanted to do that, they could have. They could have just said, "Hey guys, we're doing Clone Wars season 8," and I'm sure it would have been awesome. But
Right.
why not differentiate it? Why not just follow
Yeah.
the Bad Batch and flesh them out? You know, it's weird.
Yeah.
And they did it. Like last episode, I think was great. Cody and Crosshair was awesome, and that's what I want to see.
And
you
if
know?
they end up being like big antagonists, or if Cody like joins them, or I don't know, he might still be an antagonist, then that will be great setup for your villains, your villain, if there's just one, and Rampart too. Like that would be really good setup for them, really good development for them. This, like, unless Sid becomes like the big bad of the whole scene, which I mean, hey, if they do that and it works, great, then good. But like at this point now,
I see it, bro.
yeah, exactly. Like I'll believe that when I see it. I think we're a little spoiled by Andor, and that it was just like one big story.
Maybe get this. Maybe don't spread all your writers thin and just focus on one show at a time. Maybe instead of just like
Instead
Marvel
of making
having
4 at once
in a row.
We're the
I
last
don't know.
people that'll complain about new Star Wars stuff, but like space it out a little more, you know? Like I
Just
think
make it
this
good.
is, I feel like, isn't this going to be running at the same time as Mando? Like the last like third, I think, of this season is going to be out the same time as Mando. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it goes until March 29th. So
That's like 3
Mando will
plus
like
a 2-parter.
yeah, it's gonna be a 2-parter. Like Mando season 3, but like halfway through, and we'll still also simultaneously have Bad Batch episodes coming out. So like,
Gee,
can we space it out a little bit, guys? But whatever, that's unrelated.
Not.
All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Did you hate it? Did you really like it? You know, everybody's gonna feel a different way about it. Yeah, let us know what you thought. Make sure you check out the playlist down below. You can watch all of the reactions to the Bad Batch. They're in one playlist, season 1 and all of season 2 so far. We also have longer reviews, discussions, other Bad Batch talking point episodes in a separate playlist down there you can look at. Make sure you go check out last episode too, because that was the best one of the season so far. If you really want to see our reactions to that episode, make sure you check that out. Stay tuned for the future ones coming up. We got a couple weeks from now, we'll have a 2, like at the midpoint, I think there's going to be a 2-episode drop, so that'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.